Merry Christmas. Do I have this phone upside down? I can't never tell what I'm doing with this thing. Anyways, yeah, it's been a bit. I haven't shot a video in a long time. But I had meant to shoot a video on this 900 plus pound 1951 Fitzgibbons boiler I installed down the basement. It's a EFM520 coal stoker boiler with an auger, the whole nine. Yeah, that thing sat right here in this doorway for about 9 months. I'm just going to go over the install and show you for anybody who cares. It was an adventure, like most of them are. We had to get it off the street. We had to get it off the back of my truck and go through the porch here, which was fun. Had to take this door off, drug it through here. My neighbor got it into the porch with his tractor, and we muscled it the rest of the way, just about knocked half the porch down. Getting it in here, and we got it in here, rolled it on pipes, rolled it in here, and then we realized it wasn't going to fit down the stairs in the orientation that it was at. As you can see, there ain't a whole lot of room here. And it's raining outside big time. It's 50 degrees right now in December. We got a massive storm coming up. It hit close to 60 earlier, and it's going to drop down to about 8 in a few hours. So we got howling winds, we got rain, we got the whole 9 yards. Anyway, so back on point here. So we got this thing in. You can see I tore the hell out of my doors. Got it in here, realized it wasn't going to turn, so I had to take the wall down right here. So we had to bust that stud out of there. We had to bust that one off and kind of push it to the side. And then we were able to get some pry bars underneath it, turn it 90 degrees, and then send her down the stairs. And you can see these are pretty steep. So we got 800 pounds of stuff here. We had it anchored to those studs right there. I had a nice fat, what was it, a 1x6, I guess it was, pressure treated. It's been there for years. I nailed that up back in 2005 when I got my first coal stove. We hauled that coal stove down in 05 and then back up in 08, sold it, and then got a bigger Harman Mark III. We sent that down the stairs in 2008, and then we brought that back up in 2013, sold that. Then I had a stoker boiler, a custom-made one that a generous friend of mine gave to me. And we sent that down there, and that just came up recently. So that was down there about 8 years. And then when we went to put this massive, the biggest boiler I've ever seen in my life, we got it about halfway down. I had a sheet of plywood nailed to the stairs here. So for 9 months, I was climbing over the top of that to get down the stairs to press the red button on my failing oil burner. So that was fun. Anyway, we got it halfway down. That board decided to depart. It was a little too much. I should have used screws in hindsight. Mistake on my part. And I should have, if I was going to use nails, I should have put about 3 times the amount that I had in there. I only had 2, 4, 6. It ripped them all right out. I was standing literally right here when it happened because we drilled through the stairs here. And I had an anchor point up on top. So we were anchored to that as like a safety in case something like that were to happen. And it was getting a little slack. So I was going to reposition it from here, up to another point up here. And as soon as I disconnected that thing, it was like I got my hand to about here. I heard my buddy yell, and I think I ducked a little bit. I can't really remember. Things happen so fast. And that board and all that stuff went right by my head. I don't know how. It must have went right over my head. And it all landed in a pile right there. You'll see the pictures. Man, that was a nightmare. Hit the foundation. Boom! It shook the whole house. As 800 pounds going 100 miles an hour would. That was that. It saved us a few hours of labor. An added bonus. See, my cats have been doing the handiwork on the wall there. So, yeah. So that's how we got it downstairs. That thing's working right now. So I'm going to get my little feety slippers on here and get down there before it shuts off because it's kind of warm out. Well, that didn't work out so well. I shut the phone off and missed my opportunity. But as you can see, it's a little wet down here. But this is the beast. Looks like I'm going to have to back this thing up. This thing is zoomed way in. So first thing I had to do was chisel away at the chimney here. The chimney ain't all that big to start with. So I had to do some cutting. I had Big Nasty out here from the shop. We'll go around here. We'll get to all this in a minute. But here's the old fuel barrel. Get some coal in there. Anyways, yeah, so we had to chisel into this and had to go just about into the side of the brick to fit that thimble in there. And then this inner piece that I had was very loose inside there, so I had to seal that all up with Permatex Ultra Copper. You can tell I'm a auto mechanic. Of course, this didn't fit right, so it got kinked, so we had to fill that in. I just had to make it work. It wasn't about making it pretty. We just had to get heat in this house because I wasn't paying $5.40 a gallon for number 2 heating oil. You know, can't pay $1,000 a tank for oil, so you got to do what you got to do, you know. So this connection here is the manometer. You'll see that right over there. Pulling about 0.04 right now, 0.03. Some barometric dampers flapping away. Anyway, yeah, so that was the first project, was getting that situated. We had this boiler stuck over there in the corner. I'll show you pictures. My neighbor up the road there, he helped me basically manhandle the thing himself. He's a bulldozer, human bulldozer. He grabbed the thing and twisted it around. I can't remember helping much, but he managed to get that thing over on this. We put some pipes down and we rolled it over to here, and here it sat for another 6 months, and the base was over here on end. So the next project was getting it up on this base. So you can see this base is 2 feet high. You know, and then, of course, we got water down here, so I had to put it up on bricks. Everything down here is on bricks. Otherwise, electrical stuff will electrocute you and start a fire and everything else. So that was fun. So my other buddy, my best friend, came down, helped me with this. We got a couple jacks and jack stands and had this thing wobbling and teetering. I thought one of us was going to go to the ER missing a limb, but we got it up in the air, managed to get it set down, and I wasn't even paying attention to this. You can see this isn't ideal in the slightest. As you can see around here, we're very limited in space down here. There's not a whole lot of room for much of anything. Ceiling space, whoa, you guys just went down. Ceiling space isn't all that big either. I'm 5'4", and you're at my eye level right there. So I'm about ready to hit my head on this. We had very little space to work with, but we managed to get it on there. How, I still really can't figure out, but that's where it ended up. This is what I was talking about here, is we got real lucky with this. We got real lucky with this. See that? Oh boy. Just makes it by the skin of its teeth. Yes, this is the ash pan. And, nice pile of granola in there. That's a big ash pan too, man. That thing gets heavy when it's full. So let's check the fire out. Ain't much happening in there right now. She's just floating along, idling away. See if I get my flashlight out here. Yeah. Kind of see down in there. Oh, there she goes. She's fired up. Now we can turn it off. Yeah, now I can show you the stoker part of it before it shuts off. This thing's pretty cool. 1950s technology right there. Simple, durable. I love it. I just love this thing. You know, straight to the point, just does what it's supposed to do. And right here, you can set the amount of teeth that this little fella grabs. I got it set on four teeth right now. It can go all the way up to 10 or 11. I mean, this thing will absolutely rip. This thing will eat up some coal. But 4 is all I need for this time of year right now. I may have to raise it possibly in January. We'll have to see how that goes. Maybe not. At the very least, we'll have to raise the water temperature. That's a sump pump gurgling away. From the other side of the basement, there's a lot of water happening. This is actually really good. This dry spots are completely unheard of down here. That's because we put a French drain in when we were building the shop. So that took care of a massive drainage problem. If you can imagine it, it was 10 times worse than this. So where was I? Yeah, so got it on the base. And yeah, from there, it was just a matter of rigging up some plumbing. You know, this unit came with a lot of iron fittings. So I used as many of those as I could. This turned into a problem here. I'm so close to this outlet. I wanted to go right from there, right to here. And you'll see in the pictures, I was so close, but I just couldn't make it happen. If I went any further back this way, I wouldn't be able to open the ash door. So we were in a little conundrum. So that really made me angry because it cost me a bit of money. Copper ain't cheap. Like I said, I used as much of this iron as I could. The valve came with the boiler. All this iron, everything from here back came with it. And this I had to buy the pipe. I had to buy that section of pipe. This I reused from the old boiler. I just kind of reworked it. Of course, I had a million leaks. But that's par for the course. Every time I solder, every time I work with plumbing, I got leaks left and right. I use that grip thread sealant on this. You really should use it with Teflon tape. That just will work a lot better. I think I used Teflon tape on this one. This one was a reused fitting. As you can see, it's butchered. And that son of a bitch leaked. I couldn't get that to stop leaking to save my life, so I had to use both Teflon tape and grip thread sealer on that one. So that was that. I had to redo these a few times. It was a nightmare, as it always is. This right here is a Honeywell S400A timer from way back in the day. Mercury. Give me mercury or give me death. Just simple. It works. No electronics. You know me. Most of you guys, you regulars, you know I hate electronics. So this was right up my alley. It just does what it's supposed to do. And this is just to keep the fire going when there's no call for heat. I'll try to put this on without crossing the contacts and lighting myself up here. That'd make for a good video. This is just a regular, I don't even remember the numbers on this one. 7124 maybe? 7224. Digital Aquastat. Which kind of scared me, but it's been in here since 2006, so it hasn't run in a while, so it's right about at the low limit. This was part of the oil burner. That's why you see no safety devices on this, because it's tied into this. This already has all the safety devices, so I'm sure code says otherwise, but I'm about keeping myself warm for the least amount of money as possible. A little common sense goes a long way. I know this thing isn't going to overfire. Everything's hooked up the way it's supposed to be hooked up. I might not have done things to code, as you can see, but it works. That's all I care about. It ain't about being pretty. It's about being warm. So, there's the gauge there. Gone up to 30 pounds, no leaks, so that's a good thing. I got the high limit set on 165 actually, so it'll overshoot to about 174, 173. There's the plate there, 1951 Fitzgibbons. Oh, it's Fitzgibbons with an S. 5/16 boilerplate all the way around, man. This thing is built. This is the damage. When it went sailing down the stairs at 100 miles an hour. This is it right here. Isn't that awesome? Imagine trying that with a new boiler. Would probably split in half. There she goes. Anyways, so here we are. That's an indirect fired hot water heater. That's just a separate zone plumbed in. Some of you guys might have noticed I got this ball valve kind of half shut here, and that's because this circulator runs all the time whenever the stoker is going to keep the water from stratifying. You'll have ice cold water in the bottom, and it'll be red hot up top. It would probably circulate by convection naturally. Probably don't need it, but I like to have that running just to keep everything the same temperature. And of course, when it fires, it's going to move the heat a lot faster to where it needs to go. That was my theory on that. I don't know if I really need that or not. I could probably shut it off, but this would probably overshoot like crazy and go up to 200 degrees. And it would take a little bit longer to keep moving. You know, everything's tied together, and you got the bleed off valve over there and the air expansion tank. So that was my reasoning for that. What else? So yeah, here's the barrel. Old plastic diesel barrel I had. This fits 11 and a half 40-pound bags of coal, and it just augers its way up. These two pipes, you got to make sure that they're butted together inside. They got to be right up against each other. If there's any gaps in there, you'll break the auger, and these augers are not cheap. That's my biggest fear right now, is coming down here and finding out one of these broke because a rock or something got in there. But I should really make up some type of screen. I think I might do that soon and put it up here just in case. I mean, Blast Shack coal is pretty good. I haven't had too many problems that way in the past, but you just never know, you know. With other brands, I've had all kinds of trash. So anyway, yeah, so that's that. I don't know how much more I can tell you. It was a pain in the ass, and I dragged my feet on it for as long as humanly possible. But got it done, and the house is warm, and it's all that matters, you know. I'm trying to think about what else. I don't think I have nothing. I haven't been motivated to film. I got a couple problem child vehicles in here right now. I'm really trying my patience to the point where I was ready to just say, you know what? I'm done with this auto repair stuff. I'm going back to driving. It seriously has just been I've been getting a lot of vehicles that have been trying me. Got 3 of them out there right now. I'm in the process of one on the lift. I got a Tahoe out there, my buddy's Tahoe. God, what a nightmare. It was supposed to be a 10-minute distributor swap, turned into a no start, no spark. Just nightmare after nightmare. Replaced the crank sensor. I was pretty certain that it was a crank sensor, and it wasn't. So I don't know what the story was there. I had a test light hooked to positive and was looking for the flashing. I didn't get any flashing out of it, but thinking back, I did the test with everything plugged in, so I could have had a shorted coil. I was frazzled, so I wasn't really thinking it through. So it could be a shorted coil on that. We'll find out. Anyway, apologize for not filming, but I just can't. You know, there's only so much. I'm a one-man show here. I got to handle everything between chasing parts and doing the work. And, you know, I'm at that age where I can't run ragged anymore. I just don't have it in me, and it's not worth the effort or the money to me anymore. You know, I got to keep my head screwed on right. You know. But anyways, yeah, so that's what's been happening around here. Not a whole hell of a lot. Gonna kick on again. I'm gonna get some good footage of this anyway. Yeah, circulator's on. It's that LED light. That's a circulator. So I can talk about that, I guess. I got a couple zones here. So this is an upstairs zone. I use that to replace one of these that failed. This we don't use. Second floor is a storage area. So this is the first floor zone. Hey, little buddy, coming down to say hi. This is Pumpkin, big fat Pumpkin. Who knew he would grow into his name? He's 20 pounds or so. Right, little buddy? Want to say hi to everybody? Hey, little buddy. So, yeah, so this right here, where our TV room is, somebody did a terrible job on that addition. That needs a complete overhaul. All the windows leak. They frost up. It's so bad in there that the walls get ice on them. I gotta watch my head here. I almost hit it on the bulb. Hey, buddy. So, yeah, it's terrible. Terrible. All my heat just goes right out the roof. Same with this section too. I mean, all the money I've spent over the years, I really should have put it into insulating this place, but that's a whole nother debacle. We just have so much crap. The moving of the crap that we have is the big obstacle there. Hey, buddy, you like to hide in that, huh? You disappear for days. These guys, they like hunting mice in there. It's turned into a big mouse motel. That's the joy of owning an old New England house. You got trees for floor joists. And, yeah, so This is what it is. It's what we could afford, and I'm just glad I got a roof over my head, you know. And my little kitty. So where was I going with this? All right, yeah. So those are the zones. You got two zones there, and then this pipe coming down. That's the one going to the indirect fired boiler. So that's a third zone. So that circulator runs these two zones and this old one right here. And that indirect fired boiler, as you can see, has that gray circulator down there. That has its own circulator. So the reason why, that's where I was going. The reason why I have that ball valve half shut is because this circulator will force water into that zone without it asking for it. So we will have a massive overshoot. We've had boiler water, 170 degrees. I mean, hot water coming out of the faucet at 170 degrees. That's not too pleasant when you get that, you know, in the shower. If you're not quick enough with the valve, it'll hurt you. That's my reasoning for that. So, what else? I guess that's about it. Highest I've ever seen this go so far is 300 degrees. I tried to get ahead of the cold air coming in to get a more accurate reading. That's about the only place that's somewhat accurate. Those things aren't very accurate to start with, so I can only guess that I'm somewhere in the 300 degree range. And so that's that. That's our heat. Oil burner is shut off. I have two separate wires. One wire goes to the stoker. The other wire goes to the burner. And I got the burner unplugged, of course. No need it. Right now it's 100% on coal. So that's that. It's amazing how that small little fire keeps this entire place warm. It's, you know, when it's at full burn, it's maybe 10 inches around, if that. 10-inch fire, coal fire, keeps the whole house warm. I gotta put some grease on those hinges there. Wow, those are getting stiff. Yeah, so electric furnace, man. Yeah, so that's it, I guess. I'll stop rambling and let you get back to your whatever you're doing. So, right, little buddy. Say bye to everybody. Love my cats, man. Can't live without these guys. I've had many over the years. These are my latest. You know, he's only just turned 4 in October. Him and his brother. His brother's a little skittish, and he likes to sleep a lot. So that's that. He's out of here. I'm out of here. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Hopefully 2023 is better, but, you know, I'm just going to leave it at that because I'll start ranting about current events. So, take it easy. We'll see ya. Stay warm. And that is Gizmo. Hey, baby Gizmo. He's up here sleeping on my towels. He knows where all the comfy spots are. Right, buddy? Look at that pretty little kitty. Loves looking outside. Love it. Meow.